Part of being a productive member of society and an overall decent human being is mastering a set of relatively simple skills called manners. We all know what manners are, right? Cover your mouth, wash your hands, say please and thank you. How many times did you hear that growing up? And you probably heard this over and over again too. Mind your manners. Or maybe even, didn't your mother teach you any manners? Yes. Yes, she did. And I'm pretty sure my dad was a highly decorated officer in the MPD, the Manners Police Department, though I never did ask to see his credentials. And I'm almost positive I wasn't the only child taught to use decent manners. So why is it that with a simple trip to Walmart, or any interaction with a fast food employee, or a casual stroll through the dark abyss known as the comments section, it can leave anyone wondering, has humanity lost all decency? It's a seemingly widespread viewpoint that common courtesies aren't so common anymore. This view is especially strong among the old folks, and a few millennials stricken with the rare condition known as early onset curmudgeonitis. Like me. So far, it hasn't been fatal. Some pine for the days of yore, when a gentleman stood at the sight of a lady entering a room, while others criticize the antiquated rules of yesteryear as sexist, elitist, or any other number of buzzwords you can find on college campuses these days. The truth is, our modern world is quite different from the one our great-grandparents lived in. Scientific breakthroughs, social upheavals, technological advances have all left the world, among many other adjectives, a more casual place. Casual in dress, cash in speech, yo. Casual in entertainment. And yes, casual and courteous social interactions. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing, and in some ways is a good thing, even if that pains the nostalgist inside of me. But let's face it, I like to wear jeans and call my peers by their first name. Of course, our citizenship in this casual and ever-changing society doesn't dismiss the need for manners and etiquette. Quite the opposite, actually. While there are certainly outdated rules of etiquette, like a gentleman must wear gloves on the street, in church, and other formal occasions, except when eating and drinking. I certainly wouldn't consider walking down the street a formal occasion. Manners are just as important today as they were at the turn of the century. They've just changed a bit. In fact, manners are meant to adapt to the times. But that means that we need to get with the times and use our manners. I know, easier said than done, right? After all, does it really matter which fork I use to eat my salad? What's the big deal anyway? I mean, those who care don't matter, and those that matter don't care, right? Perhaps it's this simple yet widespread mindset that has caused so many people to think that manners have gone the way of all the earth. While no one should ever publicly shame someone for forgetting to say thank you, that's just good manners. We need to remember that at the heart of manners and etiquette are just a few simple principles, not least of which is respect. Even with Amazon around, chances are pretty dang high you're gonna have to interact with another human being at least a few times in your life. We live in a relational world. Living in a relational world, and I am a relational girl. Philosopher Martin Buber wrote about the distinction between two relational modes of perceived existence.
Boring!
I know, but stick with me here. On one hand, you have what he calls an I-it relationship. To perceive another as an it is to look at them as an object whose behavior can be predicted and therefore manipulated. It's to see them as someone who only exists as part of your own experiences. These its are merely objects you encounter, obstacles to be avoided, or maybe tools to be utilized. On the other hand, there's an I-thou relationship. When you perceive another as a thou, you recognize their personhood. You recognize and accept that you're both participants in the dynamic, living process of each other. So simply stated,
without that philosophical mumbo-jumbo.
Interacting with another human being with a set of socially accepted, considerate behaviors,
AKA manners,
shows that you respect someone for the mere fact that they are another living, breathing individual. It's all about mutual respect.
And to be honest, we could all use a bit more of that.
We need to stop viewing other people as objects or supporting characters in our movie and start seeing them as other individuals with thoughts, fears, hopes, concerns, shortcomings, talents, and value to contribute, and then treat them that way.
So here's my goal.
I'm going to improve my manners and work on improving my relationship with other people, including strangers.
Here's the plan.
My goal is intentionally vague.
Despite advice I gave in another video, I'm going to read a book that's widely considered the gold standard of manners and etiquette, called Etiquette, originally written by Emily Post, but this current 18th edition is written by members of the Post family. As I read through the book over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to make a note of areas I need to improve. For instance, with a quick skim, I already know I need to work on being more punctual and making more eye contact. Then I'll make some videos in the coming weeks, focusing on one or two of those manners I know I need to improve, with specific goals on how to improve them. So until then, this has been Brent's 2 cents. Now mind your manners.